So Governor Kawira Mwangaza had to go through a process like you did in the previous term, and of course ended up with the impeachment being defeated at the Senate. And now she's back trying to make peace facilitated by the Deputy President. When you reflect on the impeachment motions that came in the first term, the previous term, Governor Ferdinand Waititu is out, Mike Sonko is out, and actually almost barred from ever holding any public office. What are your reflections on what should happen, especially when some of those disputes are rising from differences between a governor and the Assembly?
I think, first of all, it's very unfortunate sometimes that we get into a situation where impeachment arises from a disagreement. Let me not even say a dispute, a disagreement between two politicians. But having said that, our offices are political, and we have to find a way to shield governors from being frivolously being impeached just because of a disagreement. You can have a difference between you and maybe another leader. Mm-hmm. But we are in a democracy. We should be able to even differ in opinion and tolerate each other's views. We can't all have the same view. We can't all love each other. You know, we have differences. People have different preferences. People have different beliefs. People have different views of life. You know, simple things. Let me say beliefs on priorities. There are people who think that you should put money in agriculture, and others think that no, you should put money in bursary. Others think the priority should be roads, you know, and yet you have this little allocation. Mm-hmm. Others feel maybe you should talk to me in a certain manner. You know, you should call me High Excellency. And by the way, I have no issues with my title. Most of my friends, including some of my, I tell them, just call me Anne. You know, I mean, cut the title part. It's really not. But there's some people who maybe want to be addressed in a certain, so that sometimes it's not an issue of substance. The Constitution did not envision that governors, after you have campaigned and gotten the endorsement by the majority of our people in a county, to be removed from that office before you have served those people for 5 years, just because of a disagreement between me and another leader. Right. I don't think that was the spirit of the Constitution, and that's why they gave a certain reasons as to how you should be able to impeach a governor. And so I'm very happy to hear that the Senate is actually looking into this matter and wanting to put a law in place that provides for a guidance of what violation of a constitution means. You know, gross violation, because not every misdemeanor, for example, amounts to gross violation. You know, it can be a misdemeanor. You can even actually make a mistake, and you can be wrong, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every wrong is
punished.
Yeah, no. Has to be punished with an impeachment,
right?
You know, so that's my view, and I think we're still learning. I think the country is maturing democratically. Okay. I think, in my view, it's 10 years since the Constitution was promulgated, and I think we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. Okay. You won't miss this situation, but you can tell by the reaction of the Kenyan public generally on this conversation. They said, no, let us have a threshold. The second thing is, in politics, like in my case, they came and threw so many things there, knowing very well they're lying. You know, there has to be a law that also deals with the other side, that if you accuse and found to have accused falsely, that you're held responsible for it, so that people are a bit more responsible when they are casting aspersions on other people's integrity and character. But
is there a role that the Council of Governors can play? Because that conflict went on for so many weeks into months, ending up with the impeachment.
Mine or theirs?
No. I'm talking about the Kawira Mwangaza issue. Is there a role that, now that you're the chair of the
We tried. We tried, if you remember. We actually did call the governor, and we also called the county assembly. And we said, can we resolve whatever the issues are? And we sat late into the night, and we played our part. And up to then, we thought that they looked like there was goodwill. Yeah. But that particular situation is a bit more complex than that. Okay. And but I hope that we find a way where conversations on impeachment, or even contemplations of impeachment, whether of a governor or a cabinet minister, or whoever is elected, because it doesn't just apply to governors, that there should be a threshold established in law beyond just political. Because if we do that, then we can end up destabilizing counties. And when you do that, the people who suffer is not that governor. You know, they pick up and they move on. Right. It's actually the people when service delivery is disrupted.